Nice to see you again.
Thank you, pleasure.
Avatar now. Now we're around to Avatar. How you feeling tonight? It's you just mentioned quite an overwhelming experience. It's not a small premiere, is it?
I have to say I was feeling good, and then people started chanting behind me, and it's like that's not a good environment to have a conversation in. Yeah, we should really do this more in like a quiet room somewhere.
Yeah,
but yeah, let's do it out in the cold. Yeah.
Out in the cold. Tell me about the experience of working with someone like James Cameron. He's very demanding of actors, but he seems to get the best out of them. What was that experience like for you working with him?
I think sometimes people cast pessimism when people say that directors are demanding, but personally from an actor's perspective, it's everything you want. You want to achieve something which goes into the unknown and explores new territory. That's sort of the transcendence an actor is always looking for, and it's an absolute privilege. This is my first film, this is the first director, and yeah, it was an honour.
And you obviously do a lot of the motion capture stuff. Is that kind of freeing in a way, doing that kind of stuff for you as an actor, in terms of your upbringing and your training? You get to do something like that where it's very expressive, and then all the other stuff's kind of added afterwards.
Of course, like the lycra feels a bit silly. You're like, oh, can you give me at least a little robe over my genitals, please? Like, but after that's all sorted, and if they do give you that little robe, then yeah, it's just a freeing feeling of locking eyes with your other actor, who's a good actor, and. The moment is everything. As long as you're there, as long as it all goes away after action, you're all good.
And being part of this ensemble, that must have been such a pleasure to go to work every day. You're doing slightly different things, you say the lycra, but to be amongst that ensemble, it must challenge you to kind of up your game with such talented people.
Definitely, but also given the subject matter we're working with and the script, it's like you can't look for advice, you can't look to follow in someone else's footsteps, you've got to find it yourself, and that's a privilege in itself as well.
Yeah. And just finally, I have to ask you about Black Dog. How are things? How close am I to seeing it? I really want to see it now.
I remember when we talked, I was in that pessimistic stage of we've just filmed it, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm a lot more optimistic now. I've seen the cut. Thank you for asking about it. I hope British filmmaking not makes a resurgence, but just the energies behind it again, because we're brilliant minds, but we're just all running over to the States for good reason. But I hope we get something going here. Yeah.
I wish you all the best tonight. Love to see you again. Hope to see you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!